Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. Sonia, Sandra, and
Hello.
Andrea are here, and we are here recapping a brand new season of The Last of Us. Yes, so the season just started. So we are recapping season 2, episode 1, titled Future Days. Okay? So we'll get right into this. We ended season 1. So for those who don't know, this show is based off a very popular video game, and none of us have played the
We're not
game.
gamers.
No, yeah, we're not gamers, so
I've seen the game being played, but I know something a little bit, but not I haven't played. So we're
Right.
just watching as fans of this type of genre and are into it, and
and
we.
of Pedro Pascal.
Oh yeah, we'll get
Yes.
to him. We'll
I just
get
have
into
to get
him.
him
Meow.
in.
Yeah.
Meow.
We really like season 1, so we're back recapping season 2, and we are season the end of season 1. We saw that
Behave.
we saw Joel
Sorry.
saving Ellie from the
Yes,
doctors. So the doctors were going to take Ellie. She is,
the
this
Fireflies.
this world now is infested by the infected, right?
They're
These
the
monsters.
cordyceps. The
Yeah.
cordyceps. Yes.
So Ellie is apparently immune to the
She's
bites.
been bit, she's been bit and she never turned.
She's immune to
So
the
she
bites.
has the cure.
Right. So they want to extract what she has to prepare a cure for all. And in order to do that, she has to die, right?
Right.
She doesn't know this. Joel knows this, but she wants to help. She thinks that what they're doing is going to be helpful,
It's
and
the
she
right
wants
thing.
Helpful.
and she wants
Right.
to be involved.
Hmm.
But once she's kind of taken and put under, Joel comes, gets rid of everybody in the hospital, and takes her away. So so then they do show in the very beginning, before the credits, a group of people
Yeah.
outside with in front of like makeshift
The
graves.
grave sites. Yeah.
So those are the rest, I guess, of the group
Yeah,
that's
they're
involved with.
more antagonists. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
The
involved with.
part of the Fireflies.
Yes, they are involved with the group that was within the hospital,
Mhm.
and they are seeking revenge for what Joel did to the rest of the group.
To the rest of the world,
Mhm.
Well, yeah,
essentially, right?
yeah, I guess you could say that, but it's really because they wiped out their crew there,
Yeah.
um, on the surface.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So credits roll, and we get to the show. We are 5 years ahead.
Mhm.
So we're fast tracking to the future here. And Joel and Ellie are at the settlement where his brother was.
Yeah.
Several in the middle of season 1, we saw Joel reunite with his brother. He was in a settlement in Wyoming, and
Wyoming.
they went back there. So that's where they've been
Yeah.
for this time, acclimating to the new setting and adjusting just to how things are now.
Right.
And then also see Ellie and Joel not really interacting, not
Yeah.
communicating. There's a lot of tension between them.
Yeah.
It's not 100% certain why it's like that.
Yeah.
I think we could come up with our own
We have, yeah.
interpretations on that.
Yeah, I guess spending so much time with someone, like Ellie's always been like on her own too. Like she hasn't really ever had like sort of like a parental
Well, yeah.
kind of thing. So I guess that's part of it. Also, you spend so much time with the same people in
Well,
well,
I think that's yeah, it is, but I think honestly, I think most of it is that within these 5 years that we don't know what happened, um, Joel told her something that she either didn't know about or wouldn't have consented to or whatever it was
really.
about things that have happened.
Yeah.
So
See?
she doesn't feel like she can possibly trust him now.
Yeah.
So, they had that little quick scene in the beginning, and Ellie asked him, um, like, tell me the truth. Basically are the Fireflies like not good people,
Right.
or whatever? And he
Yeah.
said no. And so you sure no. Okay, and she believed him, but maybe she's thinking, maybe she found out later that he wasn't telling the truth. Because technically, if you think about it, the Fireflies were trying to do something good. They would have to sacrifice Ellie to do it, but they were gonna sacrifice her to help like humankind, pretty much.
So I don't necessarily think that he told her anything. I honestly think that she
Or
still
maybe
does.
she found out something.
I honestly think that she still doesn't know
Hmm.
about all that. I think it's more like she's grown up, she's 19 now, and he still kind of treats her like a child. And
Yeah.
she's
Well,
very
yeah,
I mean, it seems
strong-willed.
that way. There
She's
was,
very strong-willed, and she
yeah.
really wants to
there's lots of
not
tension.
necessarily be on her own, but make her own decisions.
Right.
And it seems like he's still trying to kind
He's
of
very
tell her what to
protective of
do,
her.
He's protective, yeah.
and
Yeah.
like overly protective, and she's not having it. So there may be something else, because I think it's one thing to be like a defiant teenager and all that,
Right.
but I think this is a little bit too much. But this
Right.
is a different kind of world, so I don't know. But
Well,
I think
this
that's
is
like the
a different kind
majority
of
of it.
world, but what is interesting about this world is that Joel is actually, you see Joel sitting down with a woman who a lot of us would recognize, Catherine O'Hara, who's one of the new characters, Gail.
Yeah.
Um, and she's an alcoholic therapist. So,
Alcoholic psychotherapist.
yeah, so he's sharing with her, his relationship with
Yeah.
Ellie, and she's basically telling him that he doesn't really know everything, that's really like he's not being honest with himself,
Right.
right? And that he's not coming clear with himself, and like having that clarity for why he is kind of like also doing all of this, and that she's basically like, you're only like fooling yourself. And
Right.
um, I just have to say, I mean, Catherine O'Hara, it's like amazing to see her in this
Yeah.
role. I think she's gonna play a really great character. And
Yeah. She was just in it for a little, like basically a small amount. But she
yeah,
made a big impact, and she is gonna be back in the next episode at least, because they had her in the preview.
Well,
Uh,
that preview was for like the season.
well,
That
she'll be
but
back.
she's definitely
Um,
coming back.
that's
Yeah.
definitely coming back. Yeah.
um,
There's something more. We did find out also that Joel killed her husband. Um,
Yes, they did. They do. She does say that. I
she kind
hope
of
that
let
they
it
have
out.
some kind of episode where they do a flashback scene and they show that.
I'm sure.
it's
Yeah.
kind of wild that like there's the limitations on of people in this world is it's so limited that like you literally have to have the therapist of the person of the man of the
Because
wife the
that's the
wife
only person there is
Like,
to like
but
talk.
I'm
help you
thinking,
solve your riddles. It's
Yeah.
like,
but I'm thinking, because she did say, I know you had no choice.
yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that he either got bit, or he tried to attack her or someone, or Ellie even, and he had to do it. Like it was something bad for him to do it. I don't think so.
Right. It wasn't
But she
something
was
that he
just,
just right. But we don't. Yeah.
but she just like, it doesn't
It's
matter. It
her
was her
husband.
husband, so
So
she gets it right.
whatever it
Um,
was. Yeah.
right. So I do hope that they show that
Yeah.
in
I
it.
think they
I think they
will.
will.
Especially if they keep her as like pretty recurring character, at least in the season.
I
Yeah.
also hope
I
that
can't see why they would not do that, because we need a little
yeah,
bit of backstory on her too. So
yeah. I also hope that they do show some of what happened in that 5 years.
I
Oh yeah, absolutely.
we may not see it in the next episode, but definitely throughout the
I
season, I'm
I feel like
sure.
in one episode they have to do it, just one episode of that time frame.
Yeah.
They can kind of,
They
it
can
can
speed
kind
it
of
up a
do bits and
little. Yeah.
pieces, but it should be like one full episode
Yeah.
of the
You're
major
right.
things that went on in those 5 years. I hope that they do that.
Yeah.
Um,
I think they have to do something like that.
yeah. And then so we do see so Ellie is trying to, just be more independent, and she's going out to for like target practice, and she's doing combat training. Like we see all of that
Yeah.
happening, and she was getting into when she was first fighting with that guy. I was like, what is going on? I
I
didn't in the
know.
beginning,
I
I didn't
know.
think it was like some kind of training. I thought that she was really
Because she
fighting
was
with a
really
dude.
putting it in. She was like intense with it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they were
she was
both throwing
intense with
punches and
it,
stuff.
but at the end of that sort
And
of
he was
round,
huge
that end of
compared to
that
her.
round, she was like, "Oh, well, you did, hit me in my face." And he was like, "Well, like basically he was like, I cracked. Like I didn't hit you as hard as I could have."
Right.
Yeah.
She was so upset because she was like, "Well, why not? Like what were you thinking?" Like she wants the full-on experience,
Yeah.
She
you
doesn't
know?
want him to hold
She
back. Yeah.
wants to really be like super tough and like be able to handle herself. So,
Yeah.
she really resented that. And then, the trainer guy was kind of like, um, you know, Joel would have not
Yeah, he
But he
allow
wouldn't have liked that.
Joel
Yeah.
would have said something. So these little things show us
her face was
that,
like,
yeah, her
Yeah.
face was really, she was really upset because she's
yeah.
like, Joel getting in the middle of this again, like,
He
but and
keeps being involved in my
Papi
life. Like,
Pedro
when
is
can he
trying to take
stop?
care of you,
Yeah.
okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's really trying to, she's really,
I'm super inappropriate. Anyway,
she's really trying to just be, again, independent, and
can we call him Papi Pedro from now on,
that's what I was gonna say, girl.
please?
Well, I do have to say something. When they put
Why you
when they
drink the
put
water like that?
when they put him in the beginning of the episode, when you see him, and then after when they said 5 years later and they show him again,
Yeah.
it only says 5 years. They made him look like super old.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's,
You between then and the beginning and then 5 years, yeah, you could turn gray with your hair and stuff. But even like I feel like they made this his skin more wrinkly and stuff.
but I think I agree. It did look
It
more
was like
like
too much,
worn. I think
I
it did
thought,
look more worn. But I just think that that's more about
where they are.
the elements and the place
Stress.
where they
The
live
stress,
and
yeah, yeah.
stress and all
Jesus.
that stuff. Yeah,
And
Bro,
it's
they
not
also
bro, if
just
I could not go for my weekly medical massages, I'd be a hunchback, okay, in this world. I'm just saying.
first world problems.
All of those like things that you are accustomed to,
Angie has first world problems.
I
we
do.
all got that.
I got first world problems and I got to clear them out because stuff is happening. The Last of
We're
Us.
about to turn into the Last of Us for real.
Yeah, so I need to fix it. I need to reverse all these luxuries in life. Anyway, I'm sorry, moving on.
They what else can we say here? They do show Joel's brother Tommy having an interaction with Ellie during their target
Yeah, like
practice,
yeah.
and he looks like he's also trying to protect her, of course, and doesn't want to get Joel
And
upset
also listening to
either.
Joel about her, like trying
Yeah,
to,
but he seems like he's like the cool uncle because he's not
yeah,
telling him stuff, and he's kind of letting her, like, he's trying to help her push away from the nest a little, but
yeah.
Hmm.
not so far that he can't, keep a grasp on her, or have someone keep a grasp on her. Just trying to keep Joel out of, like, not involved, I would say, as much for her sake. Because I feel like if he let her do whatever she wanted, it's gonna be chaos. They went off.
Yeah.
She found a way to get on the group to go on the run out on a run, and they go out, and they have to go. They went into the town or whatever. There was a
She's very much, Ellie's very much a daredevil, or like
yeah. I
like
was
she's trying to prove to him that she can handle the tough stuff and the going on, the scavenging and whatever they do. the hunting stuff.
which
And
she
she's
should
trying to
be
prove it,
able
and
to.
she's willing to go beyond what you may have to do to prove that to him. Like, I don't need him. I don't need anyone. I can take care of myself kind of
Yeah.
mentality. She
And
definitely
then
has
I
that.
think part of it also is that she knows she's, I mean, unless she gets killed, right? She knows she's the safest out there because even if
Well,
she
yeah, right.
gets bit,
She has immunity.
she's
So
not
yeah.
gonna turn or anything. So she can kind of escape situations like that quicker than someone else could. But she's also growing up, and I feel
Mhm.
like everyone in a world like this needs to be know some kind of, some kind of skills to help them
Yeah.
through this world. And I think she's tough enough to go out on those things, but she takes it too
Otherwise,
far. She goes
yeah.
off. I see when they went to that town and to that grocery store,
Mhm.
Yes.
I was watching like I kept seeing the like the handprints, the blood prints. Like
Oh
when
yeah.
she walked up and they climbed on the truck to get up to the top of the building, there
Mhm.
were handprints,
There was yeah.
like bloody like handprints there. And I was
Mm.
like, oh no. Somebody either got out or got in.
Right.
There's something in there. She of course she decided she's gonna go in with her little girlfriend. They went in and well, first of all, they kill one of the creatures. I was freaking out. She jumped on that thing.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, first of
Yeah,
all,
she was just like stabbing it.
first of all, I was like, oh, why are you touching it? But I guess they have to.
Gross. Gross.
Yeah.
She was taking way too long to. I guess you can't really with the knife. You can't really get into the
Yeah.
head because of
Because of all the like
the
the
formation, the rocky
probably.
coral kind of formation.
Yeah.
That makes
She was
sense.
stabbing the neck like 50 times. It took
Ugh.
forever. I
Yep.
was like, oh my God. And she would even gotten to probably wake up the others or something, so you can't
It's just
really
like
but
it has very similar characteristics of The Walking Dead, right?
yeah,
Like
Yeah,
the whole
absolutely.
they have this little commune that of people that they trust, and they're trying to build a town and to whatever. And then outside it, they have guards at the fence. They have people go out to scout things, to scavenger things, to like,
yeah.
clear the
They're
perimeter.
building.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's
Yeah,
different storylines,
very
obviously,
similar.
but very similar, like in the I was gonna say lifestyle, but that's not a good word. In like the environment that
Mhm.
Yes.
how they have to settle,
They have to adapt to
adapt to the environment,
their
right?
surroundings and the new world that they live in.
Yeah.
And if you're smart, like they seem to be to a degree, they have to build their own world again
Hmm.
while
Right.
still fighting what's out there.
Right.
So yeah, they have to do that. They have to go out and scavenge. They have to go and try and get rid of as many of those creatures as they can out there. And they have to rebuild or build fences and
Yeah.
security
I mean, they
Protection
have to
and
be
stuff. Yeah.
housing, things like
innovative.
that.
They have to be innovative of, like how they're moving around in the world, right?
Yeah,
Um, yeah. And then we see in that scene that she actually does get bit, right? So she
Yeah.
gets bit and she sees it. She's like, "Oh shit." And then she quickly hides it so that is it Dina? Um,
Dina.
is it Dina?
Yes.
Yeah, Dina, you know, was with her and didn't see that she had gotten bit. So
No.
she finds her. She sees her like kind of like on the ground or whatever, and she covers it up really quickly and gets up and she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine," cleans herself off or whatever.
Because technically she is, right? She's not gonna turn into them,
She's
so
not, no. Um, so, Dina doesn't know that. There's still some folks that are not really privy
I don't
to
think
her.
anyone knows it
except
except
Joel
for
and
Joe and
maybe
maybe Tommy.
brother. and
Yeah.
Right.
maybe his
And
wife.
maybe the
Maybe the
wife.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
think that's
later
it.
on, we see that there's like this, I mean, I guess in all of these like worlds, you have to have some sort of like joy. And we see like a kind of like a dance.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a like New Year's party or something because they
yeah.
were
Yeah, because
saying
they
Happy
said it
New
was New
Year.
And
Year's.
technically, like, I guess like a church or something.
I don't know, it was something they built. So,
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah. I mean,
right.
welcome to the world. Um, it's stuff that you build, right? Like out of nowhere. Who knows? We don't know. That's what faith is all about. Um and anyway, so eventually we see, her dancing with Dina and they get kind of close. They kiss in the middle of this dance floor. Um and it was starting to get a little hot and a little too hot and heavy for the folks around them.
From some of the
Um,
churchy people.
yeah, the churchy people had to
Mm.
say something. And, there goes Ellie just being like the warrior that she is and is like, you got a problem? And at some point, he kind of like says something under his voice and there goes Joel stepping in. Pa-
Protecting his
Papi
daughter,
Pedro.
even though he don't know what to call her, but technically that's what she is.
Papi Pedro.
Happy Pedro.
Um, Papi Pedro jumps in there and and like pushes this guy down, like just watch it. And Ellie of course gets upset. Like this is such a father
Yeah.
daughter
Yeah.
dynamic in a way.
It's just like the psychotherapist was saying, Catherine O'Hara, she was saying like, oh, like, what, like it's so strange a 19-year-old is really acting like a 19-year-old, like,
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
against authority and all this stuff,
Yeah.
especially with what she's been through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's
So,
definitely I think the main issue, but
yeah.
who knows? It's only episode one. We'll see.
Right.
But
Well, we should also mention too, real quick, that when Ellie and Dina were well, and a bunch of other people went to do a hunt to look for things or look for the cordyceps and stuff. When they were in that store where they found one, and after Ellie stabbed it to death, she fell through the floor.
yeah.
And while she
Mhm.
was in, like, the bottom floor of the basement or whatever, she did see another one of them that didn't charge at her like they usually
It was
do.
different.
It was
Mhm.
different. It When she confronted it, went away from her, like hiding from her.
Right.
And when they got back to the compound, they sat in front of like the council, which include Tommy and his wife and everything. And she was saying how they seem like they're adapting now. They're acting like us. She like it did the same thing I would do. I would
Yeah.
hide, and
Did you
so.
see those the I guess it looks like branches, I guess, coming out?
Oh yeah, so in the beginning, right, the it's like the veins of the cordyceps, like it's going through the city, and people get infected with that thing. And in the beginning of the episode, they were in the compound place and they broke like I don't know if it was a water main
I
or
think so.
pipe
Some
or
kind of
something. It
water
was big.
pipe or
And it
something.
was a bunch of those like branchy veins going through it, and you know, and then at the end they showed the same pipe, and it was like life was coming out of them. So it
Ugh.
seems like it's gonna be slowly infecting the compound. Who
Yeah.
is it gonna
Yeah.
infect? And then when those people get infected and they start getting out and biting other people,
It's
it's gonna be,
coming.
yeah, an internal infection is coming. So, you know, most of these things you think somebody like these monsters or things from the outside will come in and try to infiltrate and stuff, but this thing could be coming in from the pipes and come in like essentially from the
Yeah.
inside and get whoever. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
you can see what happens with that.
This is this is like tough. So the part where, after Ellie got bit, right? Remember the scene where she is cleaning herself up and she's
Mhm.
kind of cutting into the
Yeah.
bite.
The bite.
Do you know why she did that?
No.
So she was making some kind of a scar so it doesn't look like a bite. So if someone ever were to look at
Oh,
it, they don't think
Oh,
it's a bite and they don't see that it's a
that's
bite.
wow.
why.
So that's
Mm,
what she was doing.
that was brilliant.
Right, because she just cut into the teeth marks.
She cut into
That's
teeth
what
and then
she
she made
did.
like a line or
Like a
something.
crescent thing into the
And then
teeth
she,
marks. Yeah.
yeah, and then she made like a
And
line
then she sewed it up.
side. Yeah. So,
Ouch.
I didn't even think of that. That's actually
Yeah, I didn't think of that
smart
either.
of her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That is pretty smart of her.
she's
Because nobody, because like we said, nobody know or a handful of
Yeah,
people
I
know
mean,
that
no,
she's
it's
a
somebody would
thief.
see if
that's
she could be out in the it could be summertime and with a sports bra or
yeah.
something and you could see a bite, someone's
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
No,
automatically
you
no, and
say,
she's smart.
or
She's
she could
smart to
be
do that.
having a an interesting night with Dina one
that's
night.
true. That too.
She's definitely smart for doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And there'd be questions, you know?
And there'll be questions.
Hmm.
So,
So I don't know. I don't know where the this tensions relationship with between Joel and Ellie are gonna lead. I would hope that it would break at some point, but we'll
Yeah.
see. At the end of this episode, we did see that the rest of the group from the Fireflies from the hospital
yeah.
did find this encampment.
Compound
So they are a ways away from it, but they are there. And
after Joel.
they are very intent
Yeah.
in causing harm, especially to Joel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I gotta assume they still want to get Ellie back, but
Uh-huh.
definitely to Joel. And now they're gonna have to fight other people, right? Because
But his
Tommy
brother
and
and
the rest of the people are not gonna
Oh
want
yeah,
to
now they've got a
let
crew.
him go.
Can I
yeah.
just say one of those folks, the character Abby, is played by Caitlin Dever,
Deaver.
and she was actually set to play Ellie in the movie version of The Last of Us, which never ended up
Oh.
happening. So now she's been brought into season 2 to play Abby.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that's really great that at least they found like a nice role for her to
Oh,
That's cool. They
weave her
incorporate a
into
lot of different things from the game and from in last season, I believe that there was a scene or an episode or a scene where there was a pregnant, I think it was the mom, Ellie's mom. They showed, remember that? They
Oh
showed
yeah.
Ellie's
Yeah.
mom and she was pregnant, she was giving birth.
Oh
Like
yeah.
she
I
was in
just
like
watched
some
that
kind of
episode.
shack or secluded home or whatever.
Yeah.
The woman who played the mom actually voiced Ellie in the game.
Oh right. That's right. I do remember it.
So,
I do remember
so
that.
yeah, they all incorporate a lot of those things
Yeah,
into
I think
the
that's cool.
into this
Yeah, I think
series.
that's
Like they
really cool.
really take
I
yeah.
their
especially appreciate, even though none of us are gamers, I do appreciate, and I'd hope that gamers appreciate that too, that, they're
yeah.
kind of making
They
make
use it, yeah.
Well, I'm
sure.
watching it, I'm watching with David and some of the things that like the part where they went into when Ellie and Dina went into the store, into the grocery
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
store, and they were trying to find a way of how to distract the creature.
Yeah.
And there was a soda can, a
It was
bottle,
like a beer bottle, yeah.
and they looked at it and there was that and a rock too, right next to each other. And they were looking at it to see what's the best thing. And he was like, "Oh, it's just like the game."
Right.
They
Oh,
give That's
that's
the
funny.
options they give you, a bottle
Yeah.
and a rock, and you have to pick one.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think that if you're a real true
Yeah.
gamer and into this game, that you do see these things.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
So
Yeah.
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 I'll try
That's
and bring
great.
some perspective on the gaming portion of it while I'm watching with him because I'm sure he'll say stuff and then I'll write it
Yeah.
down.
You're our only lifeline to the game.
Yeah.
You got your own personal cheat sheet right there.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly. So he's the one that told me about the scarring thing with the bite. Because I didn't
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
because I
really,
okay.
didn't catch that at all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
But
didn't
that
think
makes
about it. I
total
didn't
I'll
think
bring
about
sense.
it.
some, I'll
So
bring
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah,
tidbits
that's great.
it
from
makes
the game.
sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
But
Cool.
um, but yeah, so far I
I'm
thought it was,
enjoying this. I don't know.
yeah,
I mean, I know that the first episode was, a little bit like, but yeah, it sets
But
the
they need stuff, yeah, they need stuff like this to set
it set the
like
tone
a
for the
story or the
season, I
tone or the
think.
backstory for certain things. So
yeah.
Yeah. I
it,
think
it
now,
it's appreciated.
yeah,
Even if it's not right away, it's appreciated at some point.
I
So
think now things will pick up and then
yeah.
we'll see more of the fights and they did throw in some fights in this one, so that's good.
Hmm.
But we'll see it more elevated, in the next few episodes, hopefully. And yeah, so far a great start to the season, I think,
Yeah.
and looking
Yeah.
forward to the rest of the episodes, the rest of the season. Guys, again, this is the Horror Flick Chicks podcast, season 2, episode 1 recap of The Last of Us. So if you're watching the season, make sure you tune in after you watch the episode and watch our recaps. They're a lot of fun. We love bringing these to you. Make sure you watch these episodes here on our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel, the Horror Flicks Chicks. Make sure you subscribe and like our videos. And our podcast is also on several streaming audio platforms, so you can check us out there as well. And also make sure you follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And we will be back next week for a recap of the second episode. Can't wait. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun. This is Sonia, Sandra, and Angie signing out. Peace, love, and horror.
Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the end.